Hi guys, make sure you refer back to this video if you're having trouble with anything that we've looked at so far or if Weebly's not working for you. If you're using one of the computers that's not a Chromebook, I would suggest to you that maybe the way that you log in is not through Chrome, but rather through the Mozilla Firefox. That browser seems to be working a little bit better. All right, so let's start at the beginning here. To set up your site, you're going to need to go to Weebly.com. You will need to sign up. So use your Google Doc email or the one from school. Mine's ozanw@isd112.org. Yours will be something like 21, last name, first initial. Create a password that you're going to remember. I would say use the one that you're currently using for your Google account or your school computers. Choose a theme. Some themes are easier to use than others. The simpler, the better. You can change the pictures in the background of a theme. So what I mean by that is when we look at some themes, if it's a food theme, you don't need to have food pictures all the way through. And really you shouldn't. Your picture should be pertinent to what you're working on. Next, you're going to want to select a domain. We're going to use a Weebly.com domain because we don't have to pay for them. The other ones are not free, and so you'd have to have a subscription in order to keep your website running. As you name it, will you please use your graduation year 21, last name, first initial. This way, if you forget to submit it on Empower or I'm looking for something, this is a pretty easy way for me to remember where you're at. When you use Weebly, okay, you're going to want to change the title. So I'll show you where it says My Site. You want to make sure that that's probably the name of your person. You're going to create new pages. So you're going to click on Pages at the top. Depending on the theme that you choose, you likely have some pages already. You can either delete them and add new ones, or you can rename them. It's up to you. As you're editing your site, you want to make sure that the word build is highlighted. I'll make this clear again as I show you on the actual Weebly. And then to add a design element, you're basically just dragging and dropping. So at first it might be a little bit frustrating, but if you take your time and get comfortable with the program, it's really not too bad. And then when you're adding an image to each page, make sure you save in the upper right-hand corner. You're not able to do anything if you don't end up clicking save. So I found myself getting frustrated a few times before I remembered that I had to save it. All right, so as you're on Weebly.com, I'm already logged in because I've made one to show you, but you're going to want to make sure that you sign up. Again, don't click through Google, so don't have it register your Google account, but rather put in your first and last name, type in your email. Again, the one that I did earlier, this is what it looks like for you. Okay. My homepage here just has some pictures and some backgrounds. That's really all yours needs to have as well. I have a history page. On my history page, notice that I have a decent amount of information. So you want to make sure you do too. It doesn't make sense to make a website if all you're going to do is put 3 sentences on it. So make sure that you're finding enough information to fill this in here. Notice that on your rubric or on the guidelines for the project, I've asked you to have 2 pictures on your history page. I only have 1, so that would be something that if you only had 1, you'd get docked on. My next tab is accomplishments. This talks about what she's famous for, what she did. If you're not familiar with Annie Jump Cannon, she classified the stars and is responsible for the spectral classes that we use, so that HR diagram is really because of her. And last but not least, sources. I'll remind you again, do not just write www.google.com or www.wikipedia.com. Notice I did use Wikipedia, right? I referenced it, so I used it in my sources. However, it's not my main source, right? That's not where I got most of my information. So if you referenced Wikipedia, absolutely, please put it in your sources, but please don't make everything from your project come from that. All right, so back to Weebly where you're gonna make a site. Okay, yours will say add a site or something, but I'm gonna click this plus sign here. And as this loads for me, I'll show you what it is that you need to be looking for, things you need to be cautious of as you go through. I'll just give this a second to load. All right, so now once this loads, you're able to choose a theme that you'd like to use for your website. Notice there's a bunch of different ones here. I'll point out a couple to you that I think are a little bit easier to use. One that I like is under portfolio here. This typography one is relatively simple. Again, you have a lot of different options as you search through. So with this one, I'm going to choose this theme. All right, so notice everything comes up here, and I can start editing. So this is what I was talking about, where you need to click a subdomain of Weebly. This is the one that you're going to want to select here. Again, you're going to type into this. You'll use your graduation year, so 21, and then last name, first initial. It'll tell you it's available, hopefully, and you can continue. All right, so here comes the part where you actually get to start editing. So here's my site. We want to delete this, right? And I'll make another one about Annie Jump Cannon. Okay, so I edited that top part. Notice here's those pages that I was talking about. When you get to this background, this is obviously not something that I'm looking to have in my website. It doesn't really relate. So if I highlight the background, make sure you're not clicking on this text box, right? Because that's going to give you something different. You want to click on just the picture, edit the background, and replace it. You have a couple of different ways that you can do this. So add a photo from your computer. Okay, so I can add this photo that I've saved, and it'll come in as my background. Something else that I can do is I could Google an image, and so say I want to use a different image of stars. All right, so say this one, this is a little bit bluer. One thing that I'm going to warn you is that sometimes your pictures don't come in super clear if you save them from here. So click View Image. That's going to bring you to a page that's just the image, and you can copy your URL. Okay. And as I click on this image again, so this is not what I want perhaps, I can upload an image, click Image URL, and we can paste it right into here. And now it should insert that photo for you. Okay, so it's updated my pictures. I have something different. Again, as you do photos, if you want to go back to editing, you're going to have to click Save. This is that Build tab I was talking about. You want to have this highlighted up here. Otherwise, you're not able to drag and drop. What I mean by drag and drop is if you wanted a picture in here, all you have to do is drag your image down. It'll give it a second to load, and I can upload an image from here. Okay, so say again I use that. You can do this the same way as you did before with that saving that URL. That's another way to upload an image. Okay, so here you go. As you highlight things, if you don't want them, you can click that X. Now, thinking about pages. You have a couple of different pages, and you can see those across the top here. These are not the page names you want, though. So home is good. Instead of about, right? Say if we perhaps wanted to say history. Okay, click that little arrow back. Services. Instead of services, we want accomplishments. And last but not least here, instead of portfolio, we want sources. Okay, contact, we don't want a contact page, so as we log in there, I'm going to click delete. Yes, I want to delete that page. Okay, as it deletes, we'll be left with just what we're looking for. On our sources pages, okay, as I toggle in here, now I'm on the source page, but I want to edit it. Notice there's no way to drag and drop over here. You need to be highlighted in Build to do that. Okay, I'm going to drag and drop onto my sources page a text box. I'm going to click to edit it, and I am going to paste that URL link that I used as a background from the previous page. So setting up your pages right away is of benefit to you so that you can paste your URL links in here as you go. Okay, so now this right here, I can make my text bigger, I can bold it, I can underline it, I can italicize it, I can change the color of it. Okay, whatever you're looking to do, you should be able to with your text. All right, accomplishments. Okay, a couple of things that you're going to need to drag and drop into here. You'll need some images. All right, they'll load in. Image will give you one image. Gallery will give you multiple images in one area. Okay, you can upload a title somewhere in here, and you can put text. Okay? So as you go through, upload your image. This is going to be the same as previously. If you have something on one of your pages for your theme that you're not liking, okay, so say this is not what I want, okay, I can add a layout, edit my background, I can move this around. If you have a picture, if you highlight it like this, there's a way for you to delete it. It will look similar to this. Okay, you can click delete, and that'll get rid of something. So if that was previously in here and you didn't like it, you can just delete it from the layout. All right, so down here, I'm going to select this. This is your project. Okay, you probably read over this first part with your sub. Notice that these are little check boxes for you to check as you go through. Okay, Google.com is not a source. Make sure that you're having more than 3 sentences, right? And when I say more than 3, you should have a paragraph or 2 paragraphs for each page. Your due date is Monday, December 19th. I'm taking a look at this rubric to just identify what it is that you're being graded on. You can extend, meet out of basic, or approach the standard here. Information, you're going to gather relevant information, so your information is also accurate and in your own words. Okay, it's very, very easy for me to tell if you're copy and pasting, so please don't do that. Background, okay, you're including everything that I've listed up here under your background section. So these are the check boxes I'm looking for each of these. Okay, accomplishments, same deal as the background. Sources, you're not listing Google and Wikipedia as your sources. You also need to make sure you're listing a source for every picture and every website that you use. Web presentation, are you effectively and creatively communicating information? Okay, this is important. Your website needs to draw people in. As for your requirements, do you have a title? Do you have all the images you need? And do you have all the pages that you need? Last but not least, grammar and spelling. So sometimes Weebly doesn't check your spelling for you. Make sure that you're reading things over or consulting people around you. So today, your job is to get through all of this. If you get frustrated, please do not give up. Problem solve, work with those around you. If worse comes to worse, right, log out of your Weebly and log back in. It should save everything for you. So don't stress out about that part, okay? Do your best today. Spend some time. You should be about 50% of the way through this by the time I come back and we work together on Friday. So use your time wisely, okay? Make sure you're sitting where you need to be, and if you need to sit away from certain people, please do that. Okay. Again, if you have any questions or you want to rewatch something, rewind in the video and take a look at the presentation PowerPoint that I've uploaded for you too. Okay. Have a great day, everyone.